Welcome back, everybody. This is Wyatt. I'm here with Justin, and you're listening to episode 18 of the Backroad Banter Podcast. 18's I will make the comment about the number every week. We're going strong, especially. I mean, we'll get into it in just a second, but we have managed to do this through hell or high water, and this week was the ultimate test. But first, I'll lead off with you, dude. We'll jump right into it. How was your past week? We've had a bit of a wonky schedule, both of us, I think, and recording day has changed a few times, and it's been crazy on both of our ends for different reasons. So let me know how yours went down here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, since we got off their regular work week and everything went fine last week, the only thing to really talk about that I'm gonna throw in there is on Friday I worked the Land Resources golf tournament that they have every year here, and I have to say, first of all, I've been to a lot of golf tournaments, like seen a lot, watched a lot. I photographed a fair amount in the last year. Land Resource is the most put together and the most fun. I think there were 4 or 5 holes out of the 9 holes at Glenville that were like some sort of challenged hole, whether it be so there was a long drive hole, there was a long drive from sitting on a tree stump hole, there was closest to the pin, there was closest to the pin on your second shot, there was the hole-in-one hole was a $10,000 hole-in-one, plus like 4 other things that were completely separate and individual that other people just like donated towards the hole-in-one hole. But it went really well, and it was really cool, and it was a lot of fun. Biggest thing to take away, and I texted Faith during it, is I don't enjoy it like I think my coworkers think I do. It really is now the equivalent, or I would assume so, of an alcoholic sitting in a bar playing the jukebox, but not being allowed to order a drink. Not like watching everybody take a shot. Yeah, man. And it's not like everybody was good. There was a lot of good teams. Like Colby was out there and Colby's team was good and everything. But there was a lot of just people that just came out and played. Like I kept hearing people while I was taking their photos. I haven't played in years. This is the first time I've played in so long. Well, you won't see me again until this time next year. And it made it to where I wanted to go out there and have fun with them. It was cool. But that was the fun part of my job. Other than that, this weekend it was pretty much just family oriented. Had a little baby's party, a 1-year-old birthday party for our friend Kyler, or our friend, our friend's baby Kyler, I could say. But that went good. It was also golf themed, similar to Layla's, so it was cool to just kind of see somebody else celebrate in a boy way ish. And then Sunday I didn't really do anything. I got to hang out with, I guess my biggest takeaway aside from like the family time, I got to hang out with Seth for the first time. And honestly, I think this year, so probably the first time in 2025, I got to hang out with him there, play a round of golf with him. And it was good to just catch up and kind of go over where we're at with each of our, just in life in general, but just personal goals, kind of some aspirations, and then just some stupid dumb interests. But that was pretty much it, man. I mean, aside from, well, no, that was it. I'd say anything else that happened, I probably texted you. That pretty much fills in the big gaps of time. I was super busy, but not a whole lot going on to really talk about outside of just good times, just an average day.
Hell yeah, man. Well, you know what? At least it wasn't bad. That's the important thing. I've had a hell of a last 7 days. I'm still sick. I'm still barely sick.
I hear that. That's surprising. I thought you'd be over it by now.
I think part of it's allergies. Like, I feel fine. I'm just having a hard time breathing out of my nose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like congested up here and stuff every once in a while. So, like, I try to keep my mic muted when I'm not talking because I'm just sitting here sniffling the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was still fighting that. Worked all weekend. The long weekend is coming up. I kind of had a long weekend right now, but that's a story I'll get to in just a second. I worked all weekend. Monday I went and me and Jocelyn went and cleaned out the storage unit. And then we went to go check out a thrift store, and I bought some shit. And I want to get into that for a second because I showed you some of the shit I bought, but I want to show you. First off, I bought this hat that's on my head.
I was gonna comment on that. That is I'm very interested in. I really like it. It's really cool.
It just says Chicago Intramurals. So somebody that lived in Chicago played in some intramural sports league that gave them these nice like Nike hats, and this guy never used it. Like it still had tags on it and shit. I bought it for $3. I bought this for $2. This is an old Pittsburgh Crawford's Negro League baseball hat.
Oh my gosh, bro, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's got a little sponsorship on it. I'm sure it might have been like a free hat giveaway at a Pirates game or something.
Oh yeah.
It might have been something like that, but nonetheless, I mean, it's still got the tag on it. Like
still a cool hat, even if it didn't have the tag. That's awesome, dude.
So I bought that, but oh yeah, hold on a second. I bought two of these. I got a pair of Crocs that
nice,
are very light lavender colored. They're my new house shoes. But the most important thing, the reason that I mentioned the whole thrift store stop, is I bought this. Is this backpack. Sponsored by Pittsburgh Public Schools. I don't know what it's for. I don't know if it's some kind of VOTEC school or something. It says Career and Technical Education. But stylized on the front of it is CTE. And I saw this and I thought, God, I have to buy this thing. So I did.
That would be my everyday backpack. I would carry all my technical equipment in it. You know what? I guess you really are kind of a sponsor for CTE at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, slightly. I'm sure.
Good for you. I'm sure.
I played a little bit of football. I'm sure something's rattling around in there that shouldn't be. But yeah, I was a big fan of that bag. I also paid $2 for that bag. That was a good haul. It's a good thrift store haul. I didn't get much, but what I did get, I made the most of, man. All of it was brand new. Like the brand new tags were on everything. The shoe, the Crocs, the bag.
That's the best.
Everything that I got.
That's the best.
And the thing that cost the most was the Crocs. That was just $20, but everything else was like $2-3.
Well, heck yeah, and that works out for those Crocs. You were saying how you were wanting to get a pair anyway, so.
Yeah, dude, I wanted a pair anyway. They're good little house shoes, and I also live right down the road from the river, so.
Oh, heck yeah, that's awesome.
If I were to go down there fishing or something, I don't have to ruin my other shoes to get down there.
Just rinse those bitches off.
Yep.
Heck yeah. Well, what else did you do? How'd the rest of your week play out?
Oh yeah, the rest of it, I don't want to say was bad, but it was inconvenient. So Tuesday rolls around. Today, real time, is Wednesday. Tuesday rolls around, which is yesterday, and we get one hell of a storm all throughout western Pennsylvania. Last night, I think it was over 300,000 people in western Pennsylvania didn't have power. I don't know what the number's at now. It's lower than that because I was one of them. I didn't have power yesterday. We were supposed to record yesterday. We didn't do it because the storm knocked out all kinds of shit. Fortunately, near me, nothing too crazy happened. But throughout other places, at other areas in Pittsburgh, crazy shit did happen. That's why my power got knocked out, is just because some shit right down the road, like not close to me, but 10, 15 minutes away. And it just fucked up power for miles.
I've been seeing some videos and shit from, I've seen roofs blown off of buildings and houses, and it's crazy. Whenever you said 75 miles, dude, that is...
I think it got more than that. That was just what the warning said it was going to be. Whenever we got a thunderstorm warning yesterday, probably 4 o'clock, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to plug in my phone, which was a good move because the power went out. And then... the storm went crazy and knocked out power fucking everywhere. I woke up to go to work this morning. and the power was out at work, and they sent most of us home. So I've just been home all day. My power came back on probably about 2 o'clock, 2 or 3 o'clock. The internet was spotty whenever it did come back on for a little bit, but luckily it's back full strength, and we're here now. Because otherwise I would have really fucked with my schedule, because tomorrow night or Friday morning I'm making a trip into town. So, yeah.
Dude. Well, if that's the case, then I'll tell you what, we should plan for something Friday sometime. That could work out. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'll be around. I don't know if it'll be just me or if it'll be me and Jocelyn, but I will be there. I gotta come in this weekend because I work next weekend, and next weekend's Mother's Day, so I gotta come in and do some Mother's Day stuff a week early.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, heck yeah, dude. Well, shoot. Yeah, well, we'll definitely talk about that then. Well, heck yeah, that's a good little recap then. That's nice that you had an extra day off, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because it ate up all of my PTO to get me paid, but it was all right, because I know that if I was at work, I just would have been cranky because power was out everywhere. I wouldn't have been able to get any food like from the break room or from anything down the road or anything like that. There wouldn't have been anything to do because our power was out. So I just would have like sat there pissed off, like, oh, why am I even here? Like, why do they even have me here? I should go home. So, yeah, they luckily sent us all home anyway, so that helped out. And then I've been getting text messages just repeatedly all day of them calling off another shift after another shift after another shift because of this power outage. So it's still bad in some areas.
Huh.
I know Allegheny County, which is where actual Pittsburgh is, it got hit pretty hard. I'm a little bit outside of Pittsburgh. I'm about a half hour outside of Pittsburgh, but Westmoreland County got hit pretty hard too. That's where I'm at. But Allegheny County got slammed. Allegheny County got hit real bad. So they're, hopefully everybody gets their shit back. I watched the news right as my power came back onto my house, and they said it could be up to 5 to 7 days before all of Allegheny County's power is restored.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I really kind of, I like I told you, I do and I don't, because of my weekend plans. Hope that, I'm sure it will be in the center of Pittsburgh, but or wherever this is, I forget. But I would like to, I'd like to attend that thing. I'm excited for that toy show there this weekend. I've never been to one, so that's kind of why I'm excited about it, just to see what it's like.
Yeah, dude, I'm hoping you get to it. Oh, speaking of toys, this isn't really a toy, and it's not anything I found at the thrift store either, but I wanted to show you this. I got it like a month ago. I went to the Dollar Tree because I needed a couple of things, just like little random things for the house. And then I found this guy.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah, there were a bunch of them, but I had to get hilarious.
This one. Oh, I'm writing that down on this sheet, because if I ever look back at this sheet, I'll see dollar store. Dude, I want to buy some of those for Layla. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I found it at the Dollar Tree. I mean, Jocelyn goes there all the time. I'll run with her next time she goes, and I'll see if I can find any more of those.
Yeah, you should grab one for me, and because those are, she could literally just carry that around with her so perfectly.
They have all kinds of them. They have like superheroes and shit too. Like, they're not just Power Rangers. They have a whole bunch of different ones.
That is awesome. Yeah. You showed me that. That reminds me, I meant to tell you a few weeks ago, but it was probably 2 weeks after Layla's birthday party there. We were at the store, and I always look at toys because I'm me. And I was like, you know what? It's time. So Layla, I gave Layla her option between the starter Pokemon, and she took a really hard, long choice. And Charmander is her guy.
Hell yeah.
Charmander's her guy.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think we need celebration music on that whenever we go back through this.
Yeah.
That's the right choice.
Yeah, she and it's funny, at first she picked Squirtle, but it was only because his tag was right in front. So once I put them all behind my back and fixed their tags and sat them, she looked at them all real hard, and then she grabbed right at it was Charmander 100%. So yeah, so she spends every morning with him. He's her like car travel toy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, because the Snorlax is a bit too big still.
Yeah, it's it's a funny thing. She'll fall into the ball pit.
That's awesome.
Just a pillow.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh.
We gotta get our whole little Pokemon collection throughout the years.
Oh, I can't wait. I love the fact that she, with having Charmander and then having that big Snorlax that you got her, it's going to be enough to where, and then between her cousins, because Nolan is really big into Pokemon, like, she's going to be introduced to it and she'll start, like, she'll at least have a little inkling into it at a young age. So I'm
Yeah,
excited about it. I think it's a cool little introduction. I'm glad you got her that.
yeah, dude. Do you guys have like an iPad? If you have an iPad, whenever she gets a couple years older, you got to get her on the old classic like Game Boy games.
Oh, that I do have an iPad. That's what I do my drawings on. That
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
get
Get the old Delta emulator. Get her on the
Oh
classic Game
yeah,
Boy games. Yeah.
dude. I have it. That's funny. I literally, I have that on my homepage, the site to where I can get all the games itself. I still have that open. I never thought about putting it on my iPad though. That would be way better.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Yeah, it'd be a huge screen. That thing saved my life the past 24 hours with no power, man. That thing got me through the day.
Talking about Pokeball there, that does remind me. I don't know if any. It's a little late to the game. I think it's been out for about 2 weeks now. I played it for about 3 days, and I got like 70 or 80 of them. But Google did this partnership with Pokemon to where if you type in a Pokemon's name, he'll pop up. A Pokemon will pop up on the search bar like that Pokemon will, and if you click it, you catch it and then you add it to your Pokédex, and the whole goal is to get the original 152 or 53, however many there is. Um, so you just go through and it'll give you like hints at them, and then an outline of it, and then you literally just guess. So just periodically on my phone, throughout the day, I would like whenever I'd get bored or if I just had a few minutes, I'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna hop on here. If I was in the car, hop on and just guess a couple Pokemon and add them to my Pokédex.
Dude, Google's known for doing some cool shit like that. Do you remember whenever Avengers came out, whenever Endgame came out, and they did the thing where I forget, you had to Google something related to the movie, but whenever you clicked it, like the gauntlet would pop up and you could click it and it would get rid of half of the search results.
Yes, it would
Yeah.
literally disappear into dust. Yep.
Yeah, I have
They
a
would
video of that on my phone somewhere. If I can find it, I will send it to you. We can throw it up here. But
Well,
yeah, I have it somewhere because it popped up on my Snapchat memories within like the last month.
really?
Maybe like the last two. Well, yeah, it is that time of year. So yeah, it popped up probably a week or two ago. Yeah, because I mean, Endgame and Infinity War both came out April. I'm pretty sure because I remember it was like big like end of the college year thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody was. I remember a lot of people were skipping classes and shit and going to it.
That would make sense. Yeah, looking at it here, it's actually I still have it up on one of my pages on my Safari because I was still playing it. Vaporeon was the last one, or however you say that. It was the last one that I caught. But it's cool because after you catch so many, it'll also give you get different Pokeballs. So then it'll throw you a legendary one for you to name out and try to catch. And you don't even have to name the one that they give you, or that they give you hints for. If you just know other ones and you start naming them out, you can still catch those ones too. So it's just a cool little extra thing to do.
Do you remember how big Pokemon Go was?
Dude, it was the biggest fad that I've seen because all that like other fads or other like social media or what would you call that? That was like no, it was like I don't know what it would be. I'm thinking of like so other things that kind of took over were Ice Bucket Challenge, Harlem Shake, those sort of things. But Pokemon Go was like an outside physical revolution that happened all at once. You didn't wait to get called on or wait for stuff
Yeah.
to like
It
it
got
got
people like outside exercising again, like for a summer.
and
It really did
excited
because
about it.
it started at the beginning of the summer and it got people like outside walking around again. It was crazy.
I remember when we used to walk around. We used to walk out in the evenings and walk around town to catch some. Whenever it first came out for a couple weeks there.
Yeah, dude, because barely any showed up at my house. Like the one they showed up at my house, very few and far between. You had to walk into town.
Yeah.
You had to walk like the quarter mile to get into town. Yeah.
That was a good
I don't.
time.
I don't think. I don't think anything shows up in my house here. I had stuff show up in my old houses because I did start playing again. Every once in a while, I go in waves. I'll play for like a week every like 2 years.
You know what's really funny about Pokemon Go is that, like, thinking back on it now, is that that app, all it did was build a gigantic database for the developers of data information, user location, but literally, like, actually physically built them a world map. Like, because your location had to be on to play the game. And so I just, I would like to see on a world globe, like, all the dots of places that people have played Pokemon Go, because it's had to have reached everywhere that there is internet access.
Yeah, I would imagine so. It's had to have sprinkled in there at least once throughout. Yeah, everywhere that could. Yeah, man, that wave was nuts, and it's still like that game's still a thing. Like some people still play it. It just
That's
I
what I was
remember
about to say. They still
when
do
it
at the
first came
college.
out. It was when it first came out, it was nuts, man.
There are still people at the college. There are still students I see at the college that'll walk around that are playing it. Like, which I think
I
it's cool, but
yeah, I worked with a guy at my old job that we would be on. We'd be driving around on our forklifts and we would leave our thing on, and it would hatch our eggs for us because it was like not going fast. It was not going fast enough for us to register as like a car. Like
yeah.
we were going like a pretty good. We were driving at a pretty good running speed in our workplace. So it was
And they just thought you.
yeah, because it just went by off of what you traveled.
I would love to see just your guys' geolocations during it because
They're just
you
squares.
just.
They were just a bunch of squares. It was awesome.
But they were like, dude, this is the shortest track I've ever seen. Like, what are these guys doing? That's a
Yeah.
funny little hack, honestly. Because
It was funny as shit.
I remember trying to be in cars to do that, and you'd pick up too fast. So that's it's funny that a forklift is just enough to kind of graze in there.
Now you can't go full speed on it, but you can if you just take it nice and slow, it'll be like, oh, okay, you're going at a good old jog.
That's hilarious. I picture you guys in my mind right now, hatching Pokemon, just driving forklifts, loading tires, or
that's
loading
exactly
shit.
what it was, man. It was crazy.
Oh gosh. Well, shoot, that was a good little run down memory lane there. Let's get into this podcast here. I'm sure I know we've got at least sports we can kick off with, and we
Oh
can
my
get
God,
into
do
some
I?
random
I got
stuff.
a good bit of them.
Well, let's go. Let's go with the stuff that's over. So let's go with the draft. Let's start with the draft here.
Good start.
There's only two things that I personally am planning to cover or talk about. It's the Steelers.
Yeah.
How they did, your opinion on how they did with each player they got. And then I want to talk about, as everybody is, Shador, for
Yes.
some various reasons.
I got a lot of reasons.
I need to know your opinion on some things, and I think that it'll be a good back and forth. So first of all, with the draft, the Steelers, I was very upset. First half of the draft, you were thankfully updating me, and I appreciate you for that. I was upset. I gotta say, I'm not as upset now, looking at it overall, as I think we got lucky. I'll just say that. I think we got lucky. And so we'll just go with the players. Is there anybody that you're excited that we got?
Yeah. I'm excited about a few of them. I am, as much as I wasn't happy that we went this direction early. It's a good thing that we did. I am really happy about our first round pick. And this website is not doing it for me. I have to find something without 8 billion ads. But Let's see. Yeah, we go to the Steelers website. They're not going to kill me here. Okay. But Derek Harmon, the guy from Oregon,
Yes, sir.
the defensive tackle, I originally wasn't happy about that because the only thing in my mind was we need a quarterback really, 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 really bad. As the draft went on, I was more glad that we took him because not a lot of quarterbacks went in high spots in this draft at all. Cam Ward did, who was number 1 overall. I don't think when was the second quarterback picked in that draft? It wasn't till, let's see.
Cam Ward, Jackson Dart was also selected.
Yeah, I think Jackson Dart wasn't until the second round, and I'm pretty sure he was the second one.
No, he was first round by the Lions, it says.
Okay.
He got traded. The Lions traded up, I'm pretty sure, and got him. Or somebody traded up for him.
No, the Giants.
The Giants.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, they got him 25th, so that's still late first round. So you only had 2 quarterbacks go in the first round. Like, whenever the Steelers didn't pick one, I was kind of upset. Until and then I see the next one that goes is a second rounder. It's that dude that's goddamn 25, 26 years old, who's been in college since 2018 or some shit. The Saints drafted him. Tyler, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Tyler Shaw. Yeah, just as the draft went on,
bro.
As the draft went on, and they just picked. Like, it just less and less quarterbacks were going off the board. I thought, okay, that first round pick was a pretty good move because we will still find people. What I was upset, I was really hoping we would get Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. I was hoping we would get him. He went to Seattle, 3rd round, 92nd overall.
I also liked, yeah.
Dylan Gabriel goes to Cleveland in the 3rd round, which becomes funny later because he's not going to play. That whole Cleveland quarterback situation is wild. The next one to go is Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. It just wasn't a very quarterback-heavy draft. So, and I don't think that's against the quarterbacks. I think not as many teams needed them as usual. You know what I mean? So I think
it also kind of plays into. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I think most years, we get Will Howard in round 6. I'm happy about that. I think most years, I think Will Howard goes higher than that. I think a lot of people go higher than that. I think Quinn Ewers goes higher than 7th in most years' drafts. I think Will Howard goes higher than 6th. Now, do I think these guys are top of the draft? No, but I think that they're better than their draft position makes them out to be. A lot of them. I mean, I think a lot of these guys are guys that are going to play, and I think they're going to make a pretty good dent in whatever their teams are trying to do. I don't think Will Howard's starting week 1, but you never know. I think Quinn Ewers starting isn't crazy because Tua is going to get himself murdered again. So Quinn Ewers went to the Dolphins. It just wasn't it was a quarterback-heavy draft in a year that not a lot of people needed quarterbacks.
Yeah, most bad teams have a really solid quarterback. It's just, as kind of we alluded to, I don't know, multiple episodes before, this is the biggest team sport that there is. So it takes a whole lot more than that, and which is why I think it also plays into the low drafts for the quarterbacks this year. Is there are that many good other positions to where I got to use my picks for something more than, a single position guy, because, I mean, a lot of people need defenses, a lot of people need offenses, and if a single person can fill a solid gap for you, then I personally, I'm really liking it. But it's also because I didn't have ties to any quarterbacks in this draft. Like, I wasn't really like rooting for anybody. There was a couple people that I liked, obviously, but nothing that I was really pushing for. Like we said last week, if we could have got Shador in the third, which obviously we could have, he would have been definitely worth it. But with that, I guess we can move on to him. We'll just start off on the first. We'll start off at base one. He got drafted 144, so he dropped huge, way more.
Yeah.
In my opinion, way more than what he should have, even with his cockiness. But I've seen a lot of things come out, and a lot of people say, I've seen Stephen A. Smith say, like, no, this is an insult to the Sanders family. This is an insult to him. This is blah, blah, blah. This is white people running the league. This is all this.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. I'll touch on that one in a minute, but yeah, that one.
To me, the fact that you're saying it's an insult to his family, you're automatically, Steven, you just got in an argument with LeBron about commenting on his son, because you separate LeBron from his son. You have to do the same thing with Dion. You cannot at all say that this is an insult to Dion or what he's done when it's got nothing to do with it. And then on the other side, if he had shitty interviews with all the teams that he interviewed, then you just have to go and say, well, you know what, buddy, whether it was you just putting on a show because you didn't want to be with us or whatever it was, unprofessionalism and no respect is what they saw. And it just shows that, hey, that cost you not only draft picks, but millions of dollars, at least on this first contract of his. So, like, and now he's at the Browns, bro. Now he's on the Browns.
Yeah, and their quarterback room is looking fucking crazy. I don't know how that's going to work or how.
Oh my gosh, dude, their quarterback room looks like my house in 2014. Like,
yeah. There's so many fucking people there, man. They just get quarterback after quarterback. God, I feel bad for I hate to say it, man. I feel bad for Kenny Pickett. He showed up there. He got, traded there. I don't want to say he showed up first. Deshaun Watson was already there, but let's be real. Deshaun Watson's done. Not retired, done, but he's not going to be the same Deshaun Watson. He's an allegation machine, and he's gotten 2 career-threatening injuries to the same one. Deshaun Watson's done. So Kenny Pickett was probably going to get a significant amount of playing time, or at least get a shot to. He then proceeded to lose his job 3 consecutive times in a month. They bring in Joe Flacco. Probably going to play over Kenny Pickett. You get to the draft, you get to the 3rd round, they draft Dylan Gabriel. Sorry, boys. And then you get to the 5th round, and then you draft the guy that's, let's be real, is going to be your actual starter.
The guy that they probably would have taken in the 2nd had he not done whatever he did.
They had the chance to get him and Travis Hunter and drop the ball on that. That's the most Cleveland Brown shit that could have existed. But my opinion on the whole Shador thing, man, I get why a bunch of teams didn't pick him. I get why the Steelers specifically didn't pick him. Because I think it would have taken about 3 weeks before him, DK Metcalf, and George Pickens got into a fucking fist fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he would not have been good.
I don't think it would have went very long. I think that's why the Steelers didn't get him. They've got, with DK and George Pickens there. He also have got some attitudes. They're gonna. I don't think they would have put up with his shit.
And that's the thing too. I'm glad you said that because it kind of makes me think about it from another angle. Pittsburgh, even with the drought that we're on, with our winning seasons, there is he would come in and bring in his flashiness and his absurdity to the culture, and he would not mesh well. Like, I don't see him. aside from young fans, I don't see like the real Steelers fans or even the real, the former players and stuff taken well to probably some disrespect that's going to happen.
Yeah, no. I also don't think they want. I think what it is. I think a lot of teams don't want to be the center of attention, which is what they would have become immediately.
It's really
Which is
funny.
what they did become immediately. I mean, shit.
It's funny that the Browns took him because I was thinking the last quarterback like that is Johnny Manziel, and the
Yeah,
Browns.
yeah. You would think,
That's so
but
crazy.
yeah, man, that whole situation's crazy. My favorite takeaway from the whole draft is that and I don't have a lot of room to talk. I'm no fucking expert. I'm just some dude who bought a microphone and has a computer. Um, I'm no expert. One thing I took away is that these analysts, quite oftentimes have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Um, One specifically is Mel Kiper. He was complaining about Shooter Sanders the whole time. I have seen. I then, because of this, of course, Twitter's a place that likes calling people out on their shit. They then go and dig back a quote that he said. What did he say? If Jimmy Clausen's not the best quarterback in the league or something like that by 2018, then I'm retiring. I don't know if you remember who Jimmy Clausen is, but
I do not.
he played for the Carolina Panthers for a bit.
That's
Um,
why I don't.
yeah, he was. I think he was from Notre Dame, played for the Carolina Panthers a bit, showed a little bit of promise, fell off, um, and then I believe eventually got replaced by Cam Newton. I think this is exactly how that turned out, but that among other takes, I mean, he also at one point in time, I believe, said Lamar Jackson didn't belong anywhere near the first round. Um, he rated Deshaun Kaiser over Patrick Mahomes in that draft. Yeah, so and he also went, and then this year went on a big tirade about how NFL general managers and scouts do a piss poor job of ranking prospects, or do a piss poor job of evaluating prospects, not ranking them, evaluating them. And then he has this whole rap sheet of being dead wrong about all kinds of shit.
Things. One, and it's only because the analysts that we watch on TV, I know for a fact that there are 1,016,000-year-olds that are fans of each sport that could do that better because when we were 15, we could have been announcers for things because we were actually dedicated to the point of nothing was our life except for sports. We didn't have family, we didn't have money, we didn't have cars, we didn't have lives, we didn't have vacate, we didn't have anything that we were working towards. We just had sports. So like I like that. I think that they're just grown up fans, and fans are wrong. Like we are all wrong.
It just cracks me up how they think that they're more correct than these NFL front offices that select these people.
And see, and that goes into my second point of their job is to read a whole bunch of stuff and watch a bunch of stuff. And they are going out and judging the people whose actual job is to hire these guys and make these guys out to be who they are. They like that's just crazy to me. I don't know. It's just crazy to me how much respect and credit that they get then for like why are they not just as politicians or just as the average person, why aren't they held to every time that they're wrong too? Like
Yeah.
that needs to play into if you're valuable to television. If you're wrong at your job, even 40% of the time, you don't need to be on TV telling me about sports.
Right. Yeah,
That's
and especially if you're like if you're dying on these hills, you're like, oh, I say this dude said Jimmy Clausen's not the best quarterback in the league. He'll retire by 2018.
I
Get out of here.
I don't I can there's literally not Ricky Spanish comes to my mind in terms of face before that guy.
Or Jimmy Clausen. Jimmy Clausen was a very forgettable dude. No offense to him. I mean,
no offense to him at all, but he sounds like a guy that you just made up in Madden. Like,
yeah, like an auto-generated rookie. Yeah, that's kind of what he was.
hey, he got that rookie contract though, so that's all that matters. And he's got NFL games under his belt.
But yeah, man, back to the Steelers. I do want to touch back on the Steelers. I remember I saw man. I'm really good at whenever I do see shit on the internet. I feel, and it applies to me. I'm really good at not taking offense to it. It's like it might be one of my best traits. It's not like it's a direct attack on me, but it's like when I see people calling people out for shit, and I saw this one. It was about the Steelers in the draft. It said it said Steelers fans, and they say that oh man, we need to stop the run, and then it said also Steelers fans whenever they pick a defensive tackle in the first round, oh, what the fuck are these guys doing? And I was like, wow, all right, I feel attacked. I now agree with the Steelers. Because I did bitch about that all last year, was how they needed to stop the run. So I really can't complain whenever they draft a defensive tackle.
Feeling myself because I got a couple holes after that shot because I felt that one.
I read it and I was like, dude, shit, that felt like an attack.
That's also just to me, it's going back to our exact conversation a couple days ago whenever they drafted him of why did we waste a first round draft on a really good team? Like, why did we waste it on the exact position that we needed?
And then running back, which we tend to draft running backs very well. We got Caleb Johnson from Iowa. That's not a bad pick. Najee's gone. Najee's in LA. I believe he's in LA, right? Chargers, right?
Yep.
We still got Jalen Warren, but only for a year, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait.
So Caleb Johnson's a good pickup.
Yeah.
That was the third round pick. Then Jack Sawyer. Man, I almost didn't touch on Jack Sawyer. God damn it. I was a little bit upset about this one because we are stacked at edge rushers. We are stacked on guys that can fucking rush the quarterback. We have Alex Highsmith. We have TJ Watt, of course. But, man, I'm not too upset about this because Cam Hayward's getting old. He's not really an edge rusher. He kind of plays, the line more so. He's not. But I don't know what they're going to try to do with this guy, Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. But that guy's a fucking animal. I thought that was a good pick for as late as they got him. I don't know how to say this guy's name, but they got another defensive tackle. This guy from Iowa, just like the running back was. Yaya Black. Again,
funny, we got 2 Iowa players and 2 Ohio State players. We're just matching teammates.
Yeah, and I like that because they're I like that we just brought in some guys that already know each other, and they're, you know what I mean? And especially when they're from a conference where a specific type of football is played. Like, they're from the Big Ten, all 4 of them.
Yeah.
So I like that. I think that'll hopefully work out well for us. But yeah, and then of course we got Will Howard, Ohio State. We got Carson Brunner. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Linebacker from Washington, and Dante Kent from Central Michigan, which is hilarious. I don't know if you know who else is from Central Michigan. Has nothing to do with anything. Just a coincidence. Antonio Brown.
Oh my gosh! That's funny. I forgot about it. I was trying to think of it, and he did not come to mind.
But yeah, all in all, in the beginning of that draft, I was very upset. I am somehow more happy with our late round picks than our early ones, and I'm not even upset with our early ones. Like, we needed that defensive line to be a little bit more solid than it is. We needed another running back. Najee's gone. Like we can't. This is 2025, dude. You can't run a one running back system.
No.
You're gonna get your guy fucking blown up, and then you're gonna be left with practice squad scrubs. Like you have to be deep in the backfield. So we
Yeah,
needed a
that'll be
running back. I'm not sure if we needed defense, but I like that we're keeping an identity there. I like that we're as these guys are getting older, we're we're attempting to get the next wave in.
not trying to
Um,
have gaps there. Yeah.
I don't think we did the best overall in the draft. I don't think we did bad. I think
I'm not upset with it.
no, I'm not upset with it either. I think Will Howard's gonna, probably start a few games this year, depending on how the season goes and who comes in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I obviously don't know what the Aaron Rodgers shit looks like, but um, worst case scenario, we're Mason Rudolph until they want to go with Will Howard. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but I guess we'll find out one way or another. Uh, I do like, I don't know, it might not mean a lot to a lot of people. I do like seeing the videos of his reactions and shit getting drafted.
That made me
Um,
so excited. Coach, there's a lot of Eagles fans in here now that are about to be Steelers fans.
Hell yeah.
I was like, dude, that was so cool.
Hell
That
yeah.
was great, man.
Yeah, because he's from Pennsylvania. Yeah, he
I
went
didn't
to
know
Ohio.
that.
Yeah, he went to Ohio State. He is from somewhere in eastern Pennsylvania, I do believe. Where they would be somewhere that would be Eagles fans.
Makes sense. But
Yeah, but that is
in
I
his stable-
saw a video of somebody talking something. It was Ben. It was Big Ben talking something about it. He was like, "Yeah, I saw this. He's like, I saw this kid get drafted." He said he didn't care where he got drafted, or he didn't care what team he got drafted to, what spot he went in the draft. He said he was just emotional that he got drafted. He was ready to play football. He was like, he's just love of the game type thing. And I was like, yeah, because we need that's kind of what we need.
That's exactly what we need. That's
Yeah.
exactly, and if we can hopefully bring somebody in to teach him at least, the NFL routes or the routines of an NFL. Yeah, dude. Honestly, that's hearing Ben excited about him. But I don't know. I don't think we do bad with quarterbacks in drafts. Like I like Kenny Pickett. I don't think Kenny Pickett is a bad.
I don't think he's great, but I don't think he was the problem. I agree with you to an extent. I don't think he was not the sole problem whenever he was
No.
here. No, he wasn't even the biggest problem when he was here. He was just I think he was one of the problems. But
He didn't play. He to me is very similar, and I only in a sense, but in the sense of me being a super huge Steelers fan, it's why it is. He is similar. The hype that I had for him is similar to how the NBA hyped out Zion Williamson coming in, like thinking that this was going to be a franchise player. This was going to be somebody that, like, even at a young age, was going to show a lot of pose and a lot of just skill and knowledge of the game. And unfortunately, it really just, to me, it reestablished the difference between the levels of college and pros.
yeah. Well, one thing I do want to say. Now, here's what I'm afraid the Steelers are doing, and I hope it's not it. This is actually one of the main reasons that I was pissed off about half of this draft. The draft's here next year. The draft is in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I talked to you about it, I believe. I thought these guys are really dodging this quarterback situation so they can attempt to get their franchise guy next year in the draft in the city for the sake of a fucking story.
Yeah. Get a first round fucking high pick, hopeful. Yeah.
And what did I tell you? I said you would have thought they would have learned their lesson from trying to get a fucking story.
Well,
Whenever they drafted Kenny Pickett, like again, no offense to Kenny Pickett, it just didn't work. It wasn't like I don't think he would have been the best quarterback ever. I think he would have been better than he was given the right situation. But they picked him probably way earlier than he would have been picked in that draft. He was the first quarterback taken in that draft in a really weak quarterback draft class. He was the first one taken because he played football at Pitt. And I'm just hoping to God that these guys, I hope whenever they picked Will Howard and whatever other move they plan to make around him, I hope it is for this season and they're not just throwing a season away so they can get a good story and a good picture and a good video clip next year whenever the draft is full of Steelers fans and then they pick somebody else because we shit the bed and got a top 10 pick. That's what I'm hoping isn't happening. No.
I used to hear about fans that would complain, like talk about how much of a crime it is that Charles Barkley Neville doesn't have a ring for as good as he is. If TJ Watt retires and doesn't end up with a ring, it will be the same thing to me. Like,
Oh, I think it'll be more.
well, for me it will be
Yeah.
because of the value that Charles holds, but it goes to the same of just pure wasted talent that just could not, like, you could do it all, but whenever it takes the other side to also do their part, it's, oh my gosh, dude. I'm just really scared of that. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, and TJ is what, 31, 32 now, something like that?
He's
Like,
been in the league for like 7 years.
yeah, he's I got to see actually how old he is. I hope I'm not about to be really upset. Okay, he's 30. All right, I'm not upset. I'm not as upset. That's okay. But still, you got to move. You know, you got to, like, the Steelers got to move. You got to go before this guy leaves. I don't know. The end of that giant contract is coming up very soon. It's either this year or next year. I don't remember which, but it's one of these next 2 years. You have to do something to make him feel like staying here is a viable option.
Right now, it's for him, it's not going to be about money. He's seen his brother make money, but he's also seen his brother.
And he's made money. And he's
Yeah.
made money too. Like, but what he hasn't done is win. His brother also didn't win. He's like I'm sure he wants to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think they got to do something. They got to do something solid before. If I'm him, I'm leaving.
Oh, 100%.
I love this team, but if I'm him, I'm leaving.
I'm
Why
going
the
to
fuck
whatever
not?
team can almost guarantee that me being there fills the exact gap that they need to
Mhm.
achieve something. Because, yeah, I mean, at the end of the time, he has the money. He's already made the name in terms of all pro career, gonna be a Hall of Famer. So it's just, can he obtain what they play for every
Yeah.
year? Like,
If I'm him, I'm going to somewhere like Houston. That's got that where his brother played. He's got C.J. Stroud on his offense. He's got a solid offense that's going to score fucking points to where he doesn't have to be the reason they win.
or be on the field for more than half the game.
Yeah, play where his brother played, win where his brother didn't. Not, just like
Bro, that'd be
that's what I'm
crazy.
doing. That's what I'm doing if I'm him.
That would be crazy. I would 100%. I would be a fan of his. I would buy a Texans jersey of TJ Watt because that would be hilarious.
I think if he went there, he would have to get the full name on the back of his jersey. It'd have to be T.J. Watt.
Yeah, he'd have to distinguish.
Yeah,
There.
but I hope it never happens. But I'm just saying, like, if I'm him, that's what I'm doing. If the Steelers team doesn't kick it in gear, I really hope he doesn't do that. I want him to be here forever. But it's getting to the point where if he left, I'm not gonna blame him at all because they're just fucking around too much. I don't know. I'm so, like, as you know, as a Steelers fan, I'm a little bit spoiled as we all are. But this there's always next year mentality is getting a little fucking old.
Yeah. Yeah. We're about to be 30. This next year's like I'm tired of it. We're getting
Yeah.
too close to the age of 30, and the Steelers have not done anything in a very long
Since
time.
we were like 9, yeah.
Yeah. That's well, you know what? We'll shift over. Steelers, do better. You hear us. Congratulations. We're excited to see you guys hopefully not suck.
And congratulations to Cam Ward for actually being the best quarterback in the draft. Didn't get covered enough
Deserving.
because of we know why. Congratulations to Cam Ward.
I'll just I'll just say why, because the guy that did get covered totally, one still
Gotcha.
hosted a draft party once he got drafted 144. In that draft party, brought out two Louis Vuitton cases full of nothing but stat cash, not something that most of those players that got drafted also don't have. The retard also had that hat display case built.
Oh my God.
Did you see that?
I thought that whole thing. Listen, like I'm not I'm not a person that like preys on somebody's downfall, but the second that I saw his whole draft setup, I was like, yo, it would be funny as fuck if he fell a couple rounds. Like, I didn't even think that, but like when I first started, I'd be like, yo, it would be funny as fuck if he fell to the end of the first or the beginning of the second. I was not ready for what was about to happen.
I wanted him to fall to the second solely so that he had to see every one of those teams pick somebody and him not get drafted. Like him not be their option. But for him to get to what it was, I think it just plays into even more. Your ego obviously shine through in your meetings, and that is not something
Had
that
to.
appeals to somebody that's trying to give you $40 million eventually, probably, So
Yeah, not when you're on a 53-man roster and you're the guy that's got to lead the team. I have an opinion about football that I'll sprinkle in my last football bit here. There is an exuberant amount of confidence that you do want in some players. Those players are wide receivers and defensive backs. You do not want your quarterback thinking like that. You know what? I really don't think you do. I think you want your quarterback to be calm, cool, collected. You want your receivers and your cornerbacks to be the most fucking
arrogant.
arrogant motherfuckers on the football
Yes.
field because they are doing the cool shit. They need that confidence to be way up here, or they're not even going to they're not even going to attempt half the shit that they pull off.
Yep.
They need a ridiculous amount of confidence. Your quarterback, I'm not saying he needs to be not confident, but he needs to be smart.
Yeah, you got to be confident, but you have to be composed.
I
You
do
have
not want to see my quarterback have wide receiver confidence ever.
and he
Ever.
does. And
I
Sanders
will get
does.
very discouraged.
Sanders very much does. So you know what? I'll leave off with the last one too. This one is actually a little positive. This is to go towards Sanders a little bit and to give him a little bit of hopes. I saw something that I actually enjoyed. I'll send it to you here now. But KFC, I don't know if you saw it. KFC made a tweet once he got drafted. They said the Colonel was rejected 1,009 times before finally landing our famous original recipe. Sometimes all Sanders needs is a little time to cook. Congrats, Shador.
I did see that. That was cool. I was like,
That
oh,
is
yeah.
cool. That is something that I was like, you know what? I hope he does get like that's cool. But that's more props to KFC for being a class act because Shador is not.
Yeah.
So, but good luck to you, buddy. On to the NBA, man. Let's get
Yes.
into the NBA. We'll just start right off. Cavs all the way, buddy. Let's
Holy shit! What a murder! I was
go.
Monday night. So Monday this week. Monday was one of my Saturdays. Sometimes I get multiple Saturdays, like this Saturday. But Monday was my first Saturday of this week. I went out to a bar, and at this bar, I'm watching the Cavaliers game. And my God, I watched what might be able to be classified as a murder, especially in the playoffs. So to win the series, to sweep this 4-0 season, or to sweep this 4-0 postseason first round series, the Cavaliers won 138-83. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. And now they are looking at. Oh, they've got their opponents already. They are looking at the Pacers in the next round, who did beat out the Bucks 4-1. The Celtics will play the winners of the Knicks and Pistons. They will play tomorrow. And that might not even be the end of the series. They play Game 6 tomorrow. So New York's up 3-2. The Rockets and the Warriors are playing right now. The Rockets are stomping out the Warriors. Golden State does have a 3-1 lead. The Rockets have the chance to do the funniest thing ever.
So the thing. We also see the Lakers are down 3-1 to Minnesota. Look, here's a crazy stat that I saw that I saved, because even on my notes, I'm looking here and it has like NBA playoffs, and then I just have teams listed, and then at the bottom I have a star and it says Jesus. I was really confused, so I had to go to my phone to see if I had something. I do. So, at the beginning of about a week ago, the Lakers and the Warriors, statistically, according to Polymarket Sports, had the same odds of winning the 2025 NBA championship as Jesus did on returning this year.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Way
Yes.
to defy the odds.
They are all sitting at about 3% chance.
Huh.
So I'm sorry to all LeBron and Curry fans.
3% is pretty high for Jesus.
That's what I'm thinking.
Big year for Jesus, dude.
Big year for Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that is he. He is him. But so if you're a LeBron or Curry fan, it's a bad year for you. But if you're a Jesus fan, man, you better be looking forward to it, because this is
Jesus
literally
stocks are up.
Yeah, I would start dumping a little bit more coins into that faith, that faith coin or whatever it is, because you'll need it. That money is worth it. But I found that really funny because in Oslo, slightly terrifying.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping the Cavs win, and that's the only thing that comes true.
And you know what the funniest shit about this is? This is something that we kind of went over last week. Do you know what we both left out? The Nuggets and the Clippers.
Yeah,
they're every year kind of just there, and we kind of just left them there. And we're going to leave them there. We're not even going to tell you where they're at, and we'll let that series play out on its own.
Well, we might talk about it next week, depending on how it plays out. Who knows?
Shit, it'll be over by the time this airs, maybe or maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, we really don't.
They're about to play Game 6, so it could be, but it also couldn't be. Nobody knows.
I'll transfer on here, man. Do you have any more NBA? I don't want to move on until we're done.
No, other than my predictions with us a little bit deeper in, I think we kind of make these every week, and
let's go ahead and make our.
Now, if I remember correctly, so I want you to hopefully help me get this right. This goes by seeding the entire way, right?
Yeah.
So, let's say if the Lakers win at the 3 seed, they would play, I guess that's a bad example. So let's say if the Nuggets or the Clippers win, either way, the Thunder's playing the lowest seed that goes on, right? So what I'm saying is if the Lakers were to somehow win, they would not play the Thunder.
Not unless.
But if the Timberwolves win, they will play the Thunder because they're 6.
The only way that the Timberwolves will play the Thunder is the only way the Lakers or Timberwolves will play the Thunder is in the conference finals.
Okay, I didn't know if it went like set bracket the whole way, or if it was like, or if it went by seeding the whole time. Best plays worse the entire way through, no matter where they were at before. You know what I mean?
Now I understand what you were asking.
Okay, yeah.
It's a bracket. It's still just your same bracket. So the Thunder are playing the Nuggets and Clippers no matter what. So
okay.
Yeah, so if the Lakers somehow win, they'd still have to make it past the probable Warriors and then the Thunder and then the finals. So
okay.
Yeah, that's
no, you're right, because when I look at the East, they're already set and the Pistons still have a chance to win, but the second round for the Cavs Pacers is already set. Even though the Pistons are lower. So, yeah, you're right. It's just straight bracket all the way through. Okay. Yeah, that was the only question I had. I didn't know. Because the NFL does that, don't they?
I don't remember. I'm going to be honest. I would say so because I've never seen the NFL have a bracket. So, I think so. I think
the NFL does do that. I think it's best against worst the whole way through, no matter what you're doing. Yeah.
Which would make sense. So, first round.
But, yeah, I mean, as of right now, it's I still think it's looking like the Thunder and the Cavs. I mean, they
Yeah.
murdered both of them. They just blew through the first round. Now, what'll really be my indicator is how quick they blow through the second round.
Yeah.
If the Cavs straight blow through the Pacers are a much better team than the fucking Heat this year, especially the Heat without Jimmy Butler. So if the Cavs blow through the Pacers, I think they're beating the Celtics. I don't think they're going to blow through the Celtics, but I think they're beating the Celtics.
Yeah. I think they've got the. So I think the Cavs got the Pacers no matter what. I don't know. I haven't watched enough of the Celtics to know, or even their highlights this year.
Yeah.
But I want to believe so just because of how dominant they are.
They always got that little bit of Celtics magic just because they're the Celtics. Same way with the Lakers, man.
Yeah. Can't get them. But
something about those teams, they're always floating around.
But we'll see. I don't know. I'm with you, though. I still think our first predictions are still the most accurate ones. I'm going to move on here to end off my sports stuff. I'm going to move on to baseball. So the first thing that I sent you that I'm going to throw up here, this is coming up there this weekend. It's just the coolest bobblehead that I've seen in a long time that's getting given away free.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Star Wars night, so who would not want that bobblehead? I was like, man, I'd like to go to that game just to get it and eventually have that sitting on the podcast studio. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
But then this other one here that everybody is seeing here now or in a second, I just wanted to show this out because the White Sox did a collaboration with the Bulls, and I really like this.
It is pretty neat. Yeah, I like it. It looks pretty damn good.
And they don't even consider it their city edition. It's literally just a single collaboration with the Bulls. And I like what they did. I think that it's, I don't know, unique, and it doesn't take away from anything. It doesn't scream White Sox, but that's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't scream White Sox, but it does kind of scream Chicago because
that's very Chicago-y.
Yeah. And I like it. I have no complaints. I think it looks pretty slick. The only thing I don't like it is that at a glance, I really very quickly think, oh, the Cincinnati Reds got a nice uniform, but then I look in and read it.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's really cool because I haven't seen it, but I'm looking at their neckline there. It features the 9 championships from Chicago's history, so it shows like the White Sox and the Cubs, and then
it includes the Cubs too. That's kind of cool.
I believe so. Maybe it doesn't. I can't tell. How many championships do the White Sox have? 3?
No, it doesn't include the Cubs. The Cubs won in 15, I think.
I thought they won in 17. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I think.
Oh, wait a minute. Who did win the? There, I don't think it was the White Sox, was it? I don't remember very many World Series.
I don't remember hearing the White Sox win the World Series.
No, not in 20 fucking years. 05, I know they did. No, the Astros did. Yeah, so I do see 17 on there. Wait a minute. Surely not.
Oh yeah, the Astros won. That was the rig the year. That's when they cheated.
It's 1917.
1917.
Yeah, it's 1917.
1906. Yeah. That makes sense because the 90s are in the center.
Oh, yeah. And then the 05 is the last one, which 05 is the one. The White Sox did win in 05. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is very cool. Hats off to you. If I was a Chicago fan in any way, you bet your ass I'd be buying that jersey.
Yeah, and I damn sure be buying the hat too. Which
hat is cool.
I might anyway. I might buy that hat anyway.
That hat is awesome. That would be nice to have. But yeah, that right there pretty much. Well, you know what? I have one more thing. It's not sports related, but it is Pittsburgh related. So I'm going to move on. It'll be a good transition into whatever else we want to talk about in terms of regular conversations. Did you see the apology that Primanti Brothers put out
for their wings
to the city of Pittsburgh? Yes.
Yep, I did. Yeah,
that is the funniest thing. That is just the funniest thing. I'm going to throw a picture up here so people can see it. But they just put out, Primanti Brothers, the sandwich shop, put out an apology, and it said, so listen, we need to talk. and basically just said over the last few years, everybody's let us know that our wings just suck. They've been frozen, they've been uncooked, they've been not flavorful, this and that. So to every wing lover and every sports fan and every hungry Yinzer who looked down at their order and thought, yeah, no, we're sorry. We're sorry. But great news is our team has been hard at work, tightening up the recipe and finding better wings. So no chicken has been safe, and they're just letting us know that they are not having any frozen wings. They're having full flavor. And at the end, they said if you ever felt personally victimized by a tiny Primanti's wing, get back here and try out our new improved wings. And they said they're no longer sadder. But then at the very bottom, if you look, it says, P.S. If you're still super mad and need to air out grievances, call 1-866-SAD-WINGS, and we'll be there to listen. And I want to call it and see if it's literally just somebody there to listen about shitty wings.
Yeah, dude. That would be awesome. That'd be fucking sick. I wonder if it was... it would be even better if it was just somebody that was just there to make fun of you.
I don't... You know what? We
They're
should
like,
find
oh,
out.
you worried about your wings, you fucking fat bastard? Go somewhere else. Oh, man. Yeah,
Oh my
Primanti's... I've never actually had Primanti's wings, which is funny. I go to Primanti's a good bit, but I always get sandwiches because they're the sandwich place. You know what I mean?
I'm going to call them and see. I think that would be a 1-866. Sad wings. Let's find out what happens, everybody. Oh, they gave me one extra number. That doesn't work.
For what? Oh. Holy shit.
Bro, the last time I had your wings, I looked up and Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash. Those are the worst frozen wings that I've ever had in my entire life. Please, please, please pick me. I would love to taste out your new ones. Just so you know, this is Justin Emerson from the Backroad Banter Podcast. We are very, very much huge fans of Pittsburgh sports and are looking forward to trying out these new wings. You can reach me back at 304-904 beep 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 beep. It is this number exactly. And yes, sir. Have a good day. Thank you. Well, I may have just wanted some free wings, Wyatt.
That was the ultimate first time ever on this show.
Yeah.
that was a one time only segment, once in a lifetime type shit. Episode 18, the Primanti's episode.
And you know what's really funny is that is very true. The last time that I had a Primanti Brothers wing was Kobe Bryant died. Like, it's literally built in my memory in Clarksburg, Primanti Brothers. Me and Faith. Like,
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's not a lie. So I really hope that, yeah.
I hope whoever's fielding these calls is really fucking bored and watches.
Yeah.
Watches this episode.
Oh my gosh.
If you do, Primanti's guy, cheers. If you don't want to give us the free wings,
give us a follow.
Yeah, you should comment. Just sponsor us. I'm local. Yeah. Justin might not be, but I am. I'm local, so
I'm local enough because your restaurants are near me, and
that's right. Yeah.
I've been a Pittsburgh sports fan my entire life, so I mean, shoot, I could get to Pittsburgh before I could get to the bottom of my state.
They should let us do one episode from the original Primanti Brothers.
We should see about that.
Yeah. They should let us shoot one episode at the first ever Primanti shop. Because I know it's still around, and I know it's here. I'm not sure exactly where here. I've been told, but I know it's here. I've seen pictures of it. It is actually different than than most of them.
We need to, we should absolutely do that, dude. I think that'd be good anyways. I actually got some feedback on our podcast here recently from a couple different people, and they think it'd be cool to, if we had a couple episodes where we were actually in the same room and we were having, like...
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
So I told him, I said, really the only thing we have to figure out, we have to buy a camera. And then once we buy a camera and we set it up, that's really the only thing, because then we'll be good to go. It's just finding locations and stuff. But yes, I agreed with them, and I said, I'll bring that up. I appreciate your guys' tip. I like that. I like knowing.
Yeah, that's kind of been not kind of, that's been a goal from day one. That was what the first one was going to be.
Tried to be, yeah.
We tried to make the first one that, and it just didn't work out that way. For the sake of it didn't help that we recorded the first one around the holidays, so we really didn't have the time to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then everyone that we've done after that, we have been in different states. But yeah, the very first one was supposed to be just that. It was supposed to be in person. That's something we definitely want to do. It's very on our table. Definitely on the bucket list. Like, near the top of the bucket list, I think, for us has been that since day one. So that's something that will happen. Yes. So I do appreciate the feedback from those people that gave it to you. And I do want to confirm to them that will happen. When? I don't know. It won't be too awful long, but it will happen. We will make it so one way or another, come hell or high water, like we've done the first 18 of these sumbitches.
And that's the best thing. I mean, as we kind of alluded to before, we plan to do a bunch of, like, we eventually plan to at least have one podcast this summer that's just us filmed out on the golf course doing stuff, and try to make it to where it's a combination of what we actually just do when we get together as well. So
we have tried to do that this year too. It just didn't work out the way we wanted it to, but we did. That was an attempt that was made. We were at the golf course with recording equipment, and it didn't quite pan out the way that we wanted it to. But yeah, I like that the few people that watch this are on the same page as us. They're like, hey, you guys should do this, and we're like,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
We should do this. We've been thinking about it.
Well, one of the first person that brought it up to me, ironically, I was explaining to him, I was like, well, because he thought that we had a place that we actually had set up a podcast and we were just talking with each other.
Oh yeah.
And I did explain. I was like, no, we're a little far apart, and then explained the distance and what we're doing. And he said, oh, okay, so it's kind of like old school video blogging, like how you used to vlog with your friends. And I said, I don't know, maybe. I never vlogged. I don't know.
We never did that. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to Jocelyn about that the other day. I was like, man, I wish that whenever we were growing up, that I didn't consider this so stupid.
Me too.
Because it's what we're doing now.
Yeah, it's why I like it's one reason why I'm appreciative of my job, because it's kind of pushed me into this realm a little more and opened me up to be a little more acceptable to it. Honestly, like I want to learn the stuff, and I'm not just instantly turned away to it just because it's technology and just because I'm not necessarily needing to know it. Like kind of how you just said it didn't really work out the first time that we took the equipment out and stuff. I expected that only because I've now come to learn that repetitions, it usually takes me 3 or 4 times of having stuff and running through it, similar to how this podcast did. It took us 3 times to put out the first episode till we, started and got it good.
Got an unwritten formula, so to speak, yeah.
Yeah, and so I kind of see that as the same thing. I see we just got to work through the technologies. We got to work through each of it, and But kind of just talking about the appreciation for the job, I want to shout it out. This is I've officially, as of yesterday, 1 year on the job here at the college and or at the university, and uh, I think I'm making great headway, dude. I'm
Hell yeah.
yeah. I got a call on Monday there from somebody, and they let me know that I was nominated to be the ACCE member uh, for the university, and I was like, "What is that?" And they said,
I was gonna ask you that too.
that,
I was gonna try to be proud of you first, but
"Yeah,
I was eventually gonna ask you what that was. Yeah.
yeah." So basically, it's for all. It's a committee or an organization that is for all classified employees. So so there's one person from each university in the state of West Virginia that gets elected to that position, and you meet once a month with everybody from the other universities. You discuss how your university is doing on various topics. You bring it back. You discuss it then with your university board member. It's a really important job, a really big job. I don't think that I'm very nervous for it. I don't think I'm qualified for it. But I said, yeah, go ahead and throw my like. I never want to turn down any growth opportunities. So I said, throw my hat in the ring.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I was just in the same boat. I was when, a couple months ago, when I was telling you about that, I was like, man, I don't really want it, but I'm not gonna say no. Like I have to. Like I can't say no.
That is exactly how I looked at it, and it took a few minutes, and I was on the phone with them, and I kept asking them to just explain more and more because I don't necessarily want the position. But the more I thought about it, I was like, man, I, at the time, hadn't been there for a year. And I said, the fact that somebody outside of obviously somebody I interact with every day thought Justin Emerson would be a good representation for all of the university to meet with other universities and other, like, it was a good little pat on my back, I guess, for a lot of the work that I thought either goes unnoticed or is just, just your everyday work and stuff. So it's just a good appreciation. So as I've kind of reiterated on almost every podcast, I'm very appreciative for, even with the frustrations, very appreciative for the position that I'm in right now and kind of where I'm at, even with the low pay and everything. I think I'm here for a specific reason. I think it's good for me professionally, long term.
Yeah, yeah, dude, that's good. That's good.
I really needed it. I've been feeling down the past like 2 months. Honestly, I've just like, I don't know. It's just, I think it's that yearly funk of like realizing that I'm still in Glenville and then going through all these things of like, man, I said I'd be here. I'd be doing this and this and this. And it's just, it was just like, dude, you know what? You're where you need to be right now. And that's just it. You got everything's ahead, plenty of things are going to come for you. You just got to wait. And that's just all it was. It was kind of affirmation on that. So it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, that is good, man. That's always good. Any sort of progress that you
Yes.
can see. Even if you have to go looking for it, even if like just whenever you make any sort of I'm real big on celebrating the little wins. I guess that's a thing I've really visited on. Whether it's little or big, whether you might not even think it's a win at all, if you can find some good out of it, then find it, enjoy it. Yeah, hopefully, we'll look back a couple of years and then think that any anything else that we were working towards is just going to be not related at all to what we were.
Yeah.
And I think that's a decent possibility if we keep doing a lot of the things that we've talked about. We've got a lot of things. A lot of them I think a lot of them might be pipe dreams, but I think it's cool to have those. I think you got to have those.
Yes,
I think if you don't have those, none of them ever become real. You know what I mean?
And for us specifically, I think back a lot to what you said there last week, where we were talking about the difference between generations, and you were like, our parents' generation was like taught go to college and you can do what you want, and then their dreams failed, and then they taught us like get the safest job possible, just do what you can, enter the workforce, be an adult, do your average life. Whereas in reality, now it's kind of like you can almost make your dreams like be a way to provide a life for you.
Yeah.
At least in a lot more sense than it's ever been before.
Yeah.
So
It's possible. It's never, it's definitely not ever out of the realm of possibility. People have done a lot more with a lot less.
yes,
Yeah.
and that's my thing. That's why it goes. That's why I'm very confident in myself, and it's only because I think I've got very realistic goals. Um, like a lot of them are unachievable. Like I know that, but they are goals that if I pursue in any way, it will help me achieve one of them
Yes.
because they all tie together in some sense. So there's still progress being made, no matter which one I kind of vote to. But it's all towards personal growth. It's actually it was the only question that I wrote this week actually.
That's nice because I have one too.
I
I have one too. I don't have written down, but I do have one.
I was just thinking because I was looking, I was like, man, 4 months in, almost like 4 months over into this year, and I was looking at all like my personal goals. So I have a lot of personal like little goals, things work related, things professional related, and then just at home goals, just life goals, saving goals, I guess. But um, they vary in terms of, I guess, importance and how much time I should devote to which. And so I was like, well, what if I asked about one of your goals for this year and was just and we would discuss how we each kind of look at our at accomplishing this specific one or the specific goal that we kind of discuss or that we bring up. So my question to you is, what is one goal you have for yourself this year? Um, how are you going to accomplish it, and what's the process to do that? Do you see a process?
I
Do you,
fucking love that question. It ties in a lot to mine in a way that uh man, I really like that question. My personal goal this year is not really only mine. I think it is I'm not trying to speak for you, but I'm saying it is my goal for us. I mean, it's not my goal for me, it's my goal for us. And it's no number, it's nothing like that. It's not any accolade or any achievement per se that anybody else might see as such. Like, it's not a subscriber number, it's not a view number, it's nothing like that. Well, what it is out of all of the side projects that you and I have spoken about off camera, or at least off of recording, off air,
yeah,
to, I don't know if accomplish is the right word, but to get off the ground at least one or two of them, to act towards at least one or two of them, make a conscious effort, because I know you and I have talked about a good handful of things, I guess, without dumping them all out there, but we've mentioned the website. That's one that I think that's not just a goal. That's one I think has to be done by the end of the year, almost, in my mind. I don't think it's at the front, but it's there. Another one, getting us on more than just YouTube, getting us on Spotify, eventually to Apple Podcasts. I know Apple Podcasts have a little bit more strict criteria. I don't want to say strict, but a little tougher. Spotify's a little easier. But that, among other things, we've spoken about other things. I think it's fair enough to say now. I don't want to say it spoils anything, but I think I can speak for both of us on this. I think maybe not so much when we started this, but as it's developed, we want this entity to be more than just this show.
Oh, 100%.
If that makes any sense. Like this, which kind of leads into a thing I've made that I have not said on air yet, that is not active yet, but will be. It's the first of many. But I made our Twitch channel. Anybody that's watched every one of these, if any of you have watched every one of these, God bless you. But anybody that's watched every one of these have heard us mention the YouTube Live every once in a while, and it has been a fucking hassle. I have created the Twitch. It's not active. It will be. But I like to think long term, maybe not even, it doesn't have to be accomplished this year, but I think a step in the right direction, my main goal would be to more, not just be this podcast, but to be just a media channel in general. And I think that was, you and I had a discussion about that. We won't air out too much of it here, until we're further along in it, I guess. But yeah, it's, that I think is my ultimate goal by the end of the year, to turn this into more than just this.
Or like this podcast itself.
Yes, and that's no disrespect to this podcast itself. That's where it started. That's its roots. And if anything dies, this will be the last thing to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's other things that we have spoken of, in a sense, to make the whole Backroad thing not just a podcast, but a whole media endeavor of its own that we're going to try to do throughout the course of the year. It will require patience from those who do listen, and it will require a little bit of finagling on our part, but I think we can get it done. But that ultimately, I think, is my goal for the year. Not necessarily to, you're not going to accomplish it overnight. It's not going to be in just a year. And if it never happens, it never happens. But God damn it, I think my goal for the year is to try.
Yeah.
And I have an idea of what try means, but I don't want to air it all out, like every single plan. But the best answer I can give you on air is my goal is to put forth a goddamn solid effort between now and December 31st to do more than only this. To branch out and do a couple more things here and there. So
I like that a lot, dude. That's I mean, we have talked about it, but it really just shows it, and it would help the channel grow, because if anybody does watch this, we are so, we primarily talk about sports on here, I suppose, and we're just giving our personal freaking, low-level opinions on such, but there's also so much to each of us, and there's so much more. Like, I've talked multiple times to Faith, and I'd love to start a bullion and coin show as well, because that's something that draws in a completely different crowd.
Yeah.
Very specific. I could talk an hour about one coin, and I've got so many things that I could literally do it for years, and I'm constantly collecting, and that's just one outlet on top of everything else that, is out there for us to do. That is, I like that goal, because it's a big one, and it's a broad one, but it also, there's so many levels in it to where if we're able to even accomplish, half of them, then it shows real progress has been made, and it shows like, okay, you know what, we're in the right direction, we're just still learning, and it's in increments, and we're going to grow. And yeah, I like that a lot. I never really had any specific desires for where I want it. Like, I want this show to grow. I want us to have followers. I want people to like us, and I want to make sure that we have clips that are relatable to at least whatever fan base we may have. But I don't know. I guess I never really thought outside of what do I want to talk about. So that'll be a hard thing, is nailing down what other outlets do we actually decide to invest time in, and that'll be really cool to kind of see how we work it out. I'm excited for that now, thinking about it all.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't have to fit under one specific umbrella, which kind of fits into what my question was going to be. So my question of the week was going to be, but I think what we can do right now is we could take a quick ad/piss break, and you can get an imaginary message from somebody along the lines of maybe Piss Jugman or Jonathan or something of that nature, and we can recollect. We can pick up with my question after we send everybody a real quick message.
Alrighty, here is your reminder. Everybody, put on your shoes, tie them up, and go outside. Seriously, step out, breathe some air, touch some grass, maybe wave at a tree, go milk a goat, do something. It's not that deep. Just go move your legs, dude. This message is brought to you by the Backroad Banter Podcast and the sun. It wants to see you.
All right. Now we appreciate our message from bread or milk or Jesus or whoever it might have been. They submit them anonymously, so I've been told. My question for the week, and it sort of ties into what we're going to do. We have talked about this, I think, behind the scenes quite a few times. I think probably before we did this show. We might have talked about this before we did this show. If you were to create a short film, what genre would that film be? Like let's say 30 minutes. Like if you, I mean, it can be longer than that. It can be a real film if you want it to be. It can be a real length film. But if you were to create a film, what genre would you want it to be? Because I think we have had loose conversations about this since before this show started. That I think I started sprinkling in last fall, which was about a month or two before this show was thought of.
Yeah, I want to say, so I've made small, like 3 and 5 minute videos and like horror films, like at the college and stuff for like Halloween, and like me and Draven built one about Sis Lynn that like chased a kid through the library. So like, I think it would have to be a horror comedy or like a comedy horror.
I'm glad that's your answer because that is my answer.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's the genre that has the most possibility of being like, okay, that's fucking stupid, and it's still enjoyable because you're like, oh, this is a comedy horror. This is supposed to be, supposed to make me laugh and be dumb. And if I can just get in a few jump scares, then it meets the horror part. And then the comedy will become easy for me, depending on what the topic may be. But yeah, I think that it would have to be comedy horror. Yeah.
Now I had the reason that I asked this question is because I believe I was watching a movie around last Halloween, and I watched a really shitty low budget movie. I remember what it was. It was a really shitty low budget movie, and about halfway through it, I texted you and I said, dude, I think we could make a horror movie.
I think I know which one you're talking about now.
Yep, it was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yep.
But that would also be my answer, be comedy horror. If I'm going to make a short film, if I'm going to make a real length film, it's going to be regular horror. It's going to be bad. It's going to be so bad that it's funny. But if I were to make a short film, I talked to Jocelyn about this 2 or 3 days ago because we were watching the Terrifier 2 or 1 of those. We were watching one of the Terrifier movies, and I said, "You know how much shorter this movie'd be if this motherfucker had a gun."
If it was realistic.
Yeah. I said, you know how much shorter most horror movies would be if just one of these fucking people were smart. If they didn't go to where the strange noise was, or if they did go to where the strange noise was, they had a weapon.
Yes, as most people do.
Yeah. I think that would be the funniest thing ever, to make a 15-minute film of horror movies if the protagonist was smart.
Well, that is, you know what? That could go along with, maybe that'll be what somebody sees from the old Backroad Banter production crew sometime.
Yeah.
In the future there. That's funny. See, if I was short film, it has to be comedy horror. If I was going to go with a full length film, I'm going with a love film. I'm going to go with a love movie. Only because it's the most likely chance of being a success. And so if I'm going to go, like, I'm not going to spend 2 years of my life making a movie and not have it be a success. But then again, though, it's going to be a love movie, so people are going to be like,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why are you making love movies?
Yeah, I think a horror movie would be great. I think it could be filmed strictly in town.
Oh, dude, we could
Yeah.
honestly
Easily.
with you saying that, like, I really think that we should have Backroads Banter Production make some because fuck me, just River Street alone. We could just walk down River Street and then start recording as we walk out the other end and probably get enough content for a 15-minute video.
Yeah,
Right.
we wouldn't even need 15 minutes, and we wouldn't even have to act. It would just be like, yeah, we're gonna go find somewhere to stay on River Street, and we drive up there, we pull up to the creepiest looking place. Oh, fuck this! Back out and leave. Credits roll.
You guys,
About a 90-second fucking short film.
you know what? That is gonna be one. I hope that's gonna be one, and it's just gonna be titled Episode 18, because so that
That would be sick.
It's right here.
Only the people that are super in the trenches would have any fucking idea what we're talking about. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
What a reward for the OGs that are here with us on number 18. Shout out to you guys.
Dude, I'm making a note of that as well. We're doing that. That's gotta be done. That's hilarious.
We can have characters named such as Jonathan.
Bro, we could definitely place Jonathan around. That's so funny. This isn't Jonathan. Dude, I came home. I caught a fucking bullfrog this morning. As soon as I got home, this thing filled up my hands. I brought it in and scared Faith. It was funny. She thought I brought it from my mom's. I said, did you think I held on to a bullfrog for 25 minutes in the car?
It's funny because you definitely wouldn't do that, but in my mind, I'm just picturing you driving with a bullfrog in your hand, chuckling.
Dude, that's exactly I would just be laughing. I would literally.
You're just driving.
Yep.
This is gonna be funny.
Oh gosh, that's
Man, it's funny because that's something that I think Jocelyn would do to me. And like I can see her pulling up, and I'd be like, "Yo, you get that bullfrog the fuck out of my house right now!"
That's just too good, dude. That's too funny.
No, she's trying to convince me of a cat, and I told her that we have to let the distribution system make the choice.
What's the distribution system?
No, I basically if a stray cat finds you, you got to take it in. But I said,
okay.
I said we can't go out of our way to get one. I was like, yep, I can't. She's tried to convince me, and I want one, but
it's got to find you. You can't find it. Yeah. Yeah, I completely understand. Like a Jedi to his saber, you just. It's not a choice. It just happens. You could also.
That's true.
Let's go. We could do Harry Potter reference. Harry Potter and his wand. You don't choose your wand. The wand chooses you. Let's go.
Dude, I started playing that Harry Potter game again the other day. Hogwarts Legacy or whatever. It's free on the PlayStation Store.
Oh, is it really?
It was.
I'm gonna have to get it. Might look after this.
Yeah,
I'm
playing the shit out of that thing. I was thinking about restarting it, and then that being one of the first things on our Twitch channel. If whenever I
that would be a good one. That would be fun. Me and Faith will do we'll do up some Call of Duty here because she's getting back into Call of Duty, so I'll start playing if there's Twitch for it.
I might kick it off this weekend while I'm there. If you would want to swing over, and we might be able to do something this weekend with it. Do a short little.
Yeah, dude. If I'm home, I'm 100%. That'd be great. Before we get off here, I have a little challenge for you for next week to bring something back to me so that on episode 20 we do it. I want to build a bracket. We're going to build a bracket for the best sports shows. I want you to bring me 8 of your favorite sports shows. Text them to me. I'm going to build out a pictured bracket and we're going to throw it up on screen and we're both each going to have them and we can either do week by week, or we can just do it all at once. They're on episode 20, but we'll do a sports show television bracket, and I think that can be something we just randomly do as well. We could throw horror, TV, genres, movies, anything in there.
I like it.
Just start doing some bracket stuff. So I want you to just kind of.
That's a fucking goddamn good idea. I'm a fan. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good. Well, you start thinking about it, and well, shoot, once you have the stuff, I'll start building out, and it'll let me know because I'll make sure that I choose another 8, a separate 8 to go against, and we'll play it out, and then we'll just see if anybody happens to watch this or watch our episodes. If they watch it to the end or to whatever part that is, they can comment, what they think of our brackets and what they think should be up, who the best is, whichever show's the best.
Yeah, dude, that would be sick. That'd be really fun. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
Awesome.
Do you happen to have, before we sign off, do you happen to have a review for this week?
I do have a review for this.
Do you? Hell yeah, I do too, man.
Well, sweet. You can go ahead and kick it off with yours. I'm going to get mine.
Mine is actually something I just mentioned. Terrifier 2. I watched that movie in the middle of the night. Monday going into Tuesday. It was off. I didn't have nothing to do. I watched Terrifier 2. I tell you what, if you like horror movies, it's alright. It's pretty solid. I liked it better than the first one. Now, one thing I will say about horror movies, I'm a fan of the horror movies that seem a bit more realistic.
As an adult, that's where I'm at. It has to be realistic or I can't be into it at all because I just play it out as like an adult wouldn't do that. Like somebody would think logically,
This is one of the series where I make an exception because the first movie, super realistic. The first Terrifier movie, he's just a fucking dude in a clown costume. He's just a normal guy. Not normal guy, sorry. Let me backtrack on that. He's just a guy. Clown costume, super fucked in the head, murders a bunch of people. At the end of the first movie, he shoots himself in the top of his mouth. He kills himself. And then because he's so goddamn evil, he gets brought back to life for the second movie. They don't explain it. They don't show it. I'm sure they do in the third movie. That's my project for this weekend is to watch Terrifier 3. Terrifier 2. But it was also so goddamn just crazy that I almost didn't care about how little sense it made. Because it was just this guy fucking murdering people. And I thought, you know what? Whoever wrote this movie's fucked in the head. But they know a thing or two about horror movies. And you got me sold for the third one. I will watch the third one. I'll watch it this weekend, and that'll probably be my review for next week. So Terrifier 2. The Terrifier series. It's all right. If you like horror movies, you gotta don't watch them while you're eating. And have a little bit of a strong stomach otherwise.
They gore?
Yes. But they do some crazy shit in those movies, but they're also I don't know how to explain them. There's a lot of point in times where I laugh, and I probably shouldn't because whatever's going on is super fucked up. But it's just like the way this clown dude carries himself is it just makes
so out of pocket that it's funny.
It's just because he doesn't. I've watched 2 movies. He hasn't said a single word. But yeah, he just does like a mime act where his body language just fucking cracks me up.
Oh gosh.
But
well, that's awesome. That's good. I'll tell Faith about that. I'm not super into that stuff, but I'll watch it with her. So
yeah, you'll see some wild shit. You'll see some wild shit where you'll be like, well, I don't know. But yeah, and the cool thing about the second one is it's kind of started to morph it into a story. The first one was just this guy murdering a bunch of people. And then the second was like, okay, here's some like lore to this. Like here's some backstory to this. And I'm assuming you learn more throughout the other ones because Terrifier 3 is out. And it's got a good bit of the same cast. Terrifier 4 is being made with also a good bit of the same cast. 1 and 2 are on Peacock.
Okay.
3 I think you can rent on Prime for like $5, which I think I'm going to do this weekend. Okay. And 4 doesn't come out until like next year, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a series of horror movies in an age where horror movies have kind of sucked. Where I don't know, this movie, I don't know if it'll scare you, but it'll freak you out because you'll see some wild shit. Yeah. And it's also one of those things that, like, aside from this guy coming back from the dead, it's one of those things where you're just like, wow, this could actually kind of happen to anybody. And that's the scary part of it. Because this guy's out of his... It's just like... Because the first one's just a dude that's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them are the same dude that's out of his mind. It's just he's died once or twice.
Very interested in that part. Curious, I guess.
Yeah, I'm hoping that when I watch number 3, it explains it a little more. Because Terrifier 2 doesn't a whole lot. But I'm hoping that by the end of 3 and 4, it wraps itself around into a big, like, story that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's what number 2 started to do. Terrifier 2 started to be like, okay, there's some backstory here, and there's some shit that's important that we don't know yet. And it's turning it into a series and not just a movie of some clown murdering people. So.
Yeah, it must be decent if it's got 4. It's funny. It's usually those type of movies that get a long running series. Too.
Yeah.
They just keep making them. Or like the old Trimmers movies. Those movies never go away. Oh, well, good review, man. My review, I'm gonna stick with a food review. So I'm somebody that's very hard on dyes, and I am hard on dyes because I eat a lot of sugar, and sugar has dyes for the most part, especially processed sugar I eat. But the dyes don't give it any flavor, so I really could give a shit less. I hope they take all of it out. But this has dyes in it. But I still recommend it for everybody. Get you a little tiny bit of cancer. Trolley Gummy Pops.
No shit.
I have had these. I've had both kinds. They have these, which is the cherry grape or grape strawberry. Sorry, and then they also have a cherry lemon. Very, very good. Weirdest consistency ever because they really are gum. Like you can hold it in your mouth, and though it melts and you can move it around. You could also just hold it there, and it's so weird, dude, and they're bendy. I highly recommend these, though, just as a fun snack for any kids, adults, or gummy lovers in general. A good thing. And I've had enough of them to where I figure I should probably give it a good review.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those. I've wanted to try those, but I never have. I might have to give them a spin.
Yeah, if you're down this weekend, man, I'll bring one over to you so you can try it because I've got some. So we'll get that in there.
Yeah, nice. Well, if you don't have any closing statements, I at least have one. I hope that guy that just wiped out off of the right field wall at PNC Park is okay. I got that notification 10 minutes ago. A fan fell from the 21-foot Clemente wall in right field at PNC Park during Wednesday night's game between Pirates and the Cubs. Right after Andrew McCutchen hit a 2-run double in the 7th inning to put the Pirates ahead 4-3, players began waving frantically for medical personnel. The fan was tended to for approximately 5 minutes, then was removed from the field on a cart. Players from both teams could be seen praying, and McCutchen held a cross that hung from his neck while the fan was taken off the field. I hope this guy is okay.
I do have closing thoughts. After you're done, I do have a closing.
Yeah, I hope this guy is okay. I hope that his fall actually was a freak accident and not him being an idiot. Because I've been there. I haven't been there as in like I fell off the right field wall. I have sat on the right field wall. That's a fall. That would fucking suck. And if you take that fall wrong, you could die. I hope that guy survives. And I hope his fall was a freak accident and not him being a complete moron. But, yeah. I wish the best for this guy that just took a nosedive off of the Clemente wall.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Wyatt, because you know what? My closing thoughts in this podcast is actually exactly that. I hope that guy's okay. And while you're recovering in the hospital, you should watch episodes 1 through 18 of the Backroad Banter Podcast up right now on our YouTube. You can find it if you just follow our link in our Instagram and our other pages. And yeah, we'll see you guys there next week.
Yeah, dude. Feel better and watch all of these while you're in the hospital. Yeah, for sure. And then, I mean, I'm not gonna offer you anything cool or anything, but I hope you're all right.
Hey, no, you want a guest spot? You can be our first guest.
That would be sick. Yeah,
You can
dude.
be our
Even if
first
you
guest.
even if you just want to come on here and scream at us, you can do that too. But I did wish you the best, so you don't be mad at me. I'm not the one that fell off the right field wall.
That has been this has been episode 18 of the Backroad Banter Podcast. We do appreciate everybody for spending a couple hours with us and wasting a little bit of your time. And we will see you all next week.
Yeah, and if that guy doesn't survive, that's definitely getting cut.
Oh, I marked it right at the end because I'm ending it halfway through your laugh.